Hey YouTube, here we have an Oliver 1900. I think it's a Series B. I have to check the serial number. So what we have going on here is a number of years ago, my brother went to diesel school and they rebuilt this engine in school. But on the head, they ground the valves on it, but they were right at the tolerance where you probably should replace them. So I got the head rebuilt and with new valves, and now we're at, I don't know the exact year when we worked on this again, but we're kind of a work in progress here and taking over wherever we left off. So she's been sitting a while. Now the problem with this is you can't work on it. You got the fuel tank right here, so it's in the way for running it and trying it out. So what we should do is make a small tank for it that we can run it off of, and then we could start it with the, hopefully a battery would turn it over. And what we got going on here is, this is the rack that controls the injectors. The injectors are right here. See the blue? Each blue thing is injector. And if the problem on these is if one of them goes tight, all you have to do is get gooey from sitting. It'll lock this thing wide open, so when you start it, it'll just be going nuts. And you can't idle it down because it's stuck. I guess the newer ones, they put spring-loaded arms here, so it actually would, it wouldn't allow it to go wide open like that. So what we're gonna do is take the tank off here and then get at this project. Well, Dad, what do you think of this project?
I think we should have finished it when we did it the other time.
True that. I like the seat on this thing. That is nice. It don't get any better than that. All right.
That's bus driver seat.
All right. So here's what we got.
So when you drive the bus.
So this has got a 4-valve head on it. 4 valves per cylinder. Some only had 2. And this thing's got a supercharger, so it blows in. Air goes in around the cylinders, pressurizes it, and then when the pistons come down, it grabs the charge or the air, and then it gets injected up here. So what we have to do is we got to figure out, is it this rod right here that's stuck, or is it the injectors, or just one, or what we got going on? So that's what we got to figure out. They should go in and out here where it engages. So what we're gonna have to do is take this whole rod off and then check each one individual. Whatever ones actually work, we'll just leave. If one doesn't work, then I'll pull it out, take it to the workbench and clean it. If they all gotta be done, so be it.
Right?
No.
Shouldn't have to.
Alright, so taking this engagement off. Each one of these was stuck, but just by hand I was able to get them. So this is what engages, basically tells the injector how much fuel to use. 2, 3 is good, and 4 is good. So that is going to save a lot of time. So if we have to take the injector out, you're going to take each one of these fuel lines off, and then take these bolts out and take that whole rocker assembly off to get at that bolt to take the injector out. So I save a lot of time. Alright, so since these are loose here, we are going to check the injectors, push down on them, make sure that they open and they're not stuck in there. It's probably just gooey from fuel being sitting for so long. And then I'm going to put this rack back on. Get this spring hooked up here again. My dad adjusted the governor a little bit here because it wasn't really idling down as good as it should be. And then the job won't be as hard as we thought it was going to be, because if you were to take this off, you have to reset all this crap. So I hope we don't have to do any of them. Alright, let's see if we can get these injectors. Let's see if they're all free.
That one's free. And that one's not. She went down, she didn't come back. Let's see, this one snaps right back. This one is stuck.
Yay.
That one's free. That one's not. 2 out of 4. Time to free them up.
And what's your plan on that?
Well, first we spray some oil in there. Then you work them up, take them back down.
Alright, so we got these two. The injectors are still, I think it's just gooey stuff in there, because these stopped working. But we got this one came back up. Just turned the engine over with a breaker bar. This one is still being a pain in the butt, but anyway, keep screwing with it. Try not to have to take them out, so you have to reset everything, do all the clearances. Alright, I think we got these freed up without having to take them apart. They're all coming, these two that were bad are coming up now by themselves, and the fuel valve here is working good. Alright, another problem with it is trying to turn it over with the battery, and turned over just a little bit when we first started to try, and then she wouldn't do it anymore. So taking the solenoid off the starter here. Can't get it out here, so I'm just cleaning up the back. I'll show you the terminals on it. Here's the back of it. You can see right here it touches, it engages this disc right here. Try to hold all this stuff, and it makes the starter turn, but it's pretty corroded, you know. And this one was black, so I'll clean them up. I did that on the Super 99 a year or two ago, and it worked. Let's give it a little cleaning and see what happens. That's probably what it is. That's probably why it worked for a little bit and then stopped. Alright, so I cleaned this disc up with the grinder, and this I cleaned up. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, right there, you can see it. There's a groove right here from that disc, so you can actually turn this, and you got an all new section that you can use. So it'll actually hit the disc a little harder because it doesn't have that recession going down. Alright, now I gotta put it back together. This ought to be fun. Alright, so on these models, the fuel comes from the tank to a filter. From there, this is actually the fuel pump, and it pumps from there on into the other side of the engine. Here's the governor control. Let's check out the other side, because these are a lot different than a regular diesel. Okay, so here's the line that comes in. Comes another filter, comes up here. It fills this gallery part of the head with fuel, and from there it goes, it supplies each one of these injectors. So it's pumped, pressurized, and then this is excess. It goes back to the fuel tank. So it's a lot different than a regular one. Here's the blower. On these models, these engines are very universal. You could put this blower on the other side of the engine, because it just blows air into around the sleeves, and when the pistons get in the right spot, it gets blown up to the top where it needs to be. So here's our makeshift fuel tank, because we want to be able to run this thing with the valve cover off and be able to get in here, so we don't have that tank up here. So we're going to have this one to here supplying the fuel, and this return line to there, and she will be one amazing fuel tank setup. Okay, for this Oliver 1900, we're gonna cold start it with the Super 99. The starter doesn't have enough power to turn it over fast enough to get it started in here, which is what we would have liked, but we're just gonna cold start it. Just get it going, and then we'll kill it. You know, the rack moves here, so it should be good to turn off. This actually kills the fuel. This goes all the way back like this. It kills the fuel. So here's wide open. All right, we're gonna see what it does. last time it ran, it went all nutso on us. You know, the governor wasn't set right, but when I throw the valve cover on here loose, just run it around a little bit, get it warmed up. This is a new head. So we'll see what it'll do.
Oh yeah. I think now we gotta button this sucker up.
Yeah, and then run it and pull it.
And then
get it on something and work it. Work the.
And get it to the pressure washer so I can wash the freaking wheels off.
Yeah, we had to quit soon because we got oil coming down, but I knew that would happen with just the valve cover sitting there. But it's better than splashing all over the place. And
Still taping?
just wipe this up and it'll protect it from rusting, no?
Yes, indeed.
That little fuel tank was amazing.
Ain't it?
Well, it worked.
It worked real good. And it had a return.
Just got a.
It's got a return.
It's probably from like a moped or something, huh?
Yeah, that's
something with a reserve on it, where it's got
right
reserve and then normal level, and then
probably a moped tank.
And just run it. Just put it right on here, and
But it's not your Suzuki one.
not the prettiest thing, but I covered this earlier in the video. You can't look at anything when you got your tank going up here like this. You
Yeah,
can't put the valve
covered.
cover on. You can't do nothing. You can't check the valves anymore. You can't check the rack for the adjustment. Nothing.
I'll tell you what, you got her now.